Welcome to the LOFA CP1000. This segment will demonstrate how to configure the panel to use a transducer with backup switches in an empty or pump out auto start application. To save fuel and avoid frequent starts and stops of the pump, this application will also use the cruise control or maintain function to balance the output flow to the input flow. Examples of applicable applications are sewer bypass or floodwater control. The configuration starts by entering the menus and navigating to the auto start behavior. It is very important to remember that all configuration changes, once entered, go immediately into effect. Therefore, it is strongly recommended to have the engine stopped when making configuration changes. The first step is to set the operation. The choices are high to low or low to high. In this case, the desired operation is to take the water level from a high level to a low level, so high to low should be selected. The next step is to set up the panel to start and stop with transducers with backup switches. Press the right arrow button to enter into the selection menu and choose the transducer with backup switches. The third step is to set up a start delay. This time determines how long the start condition must remain true before the auto start operation will begin. Similarly, the stop delay should be set. This application calls for the use of the cruise control or maintain function. So the maintain level needs to be set by entering the maintain transducer menu and setting the function to high to low. Auto throttle to use the transducer 1 and the target level to maintain or cruise at the desired level. The subsequent step is to set the transducer triggers since it will be the primary start and stop input. Back up to the auto start menu and select transducer. Then auto start trigger and verify that the auto start trigger is set to the correct transducer input. The final step is to configure the actual start and stop levels. Back out of the menus to the gauge page and hit the Dashboard 1 button to display the Auto Start dashboard. This full screen dashboard is a quick and easy way to see many of the Auto Start configurations as well as the current status of the Auto Start operation. The dashboard is showing that the start event is when the level is above 17 feet or both switches are closed or floating. The stop event occurs when the level is below 4.5 feet or both switches are open or down. Finally, the maintain point is at 13 feet. At this point, it is very important to point out the relationship between the switches or floats and transducer. When configured and equipped with transducer with backup switches, the panel will use the transducer to determine the primary start and stop events. The switches are used to detect transducer faults, and when a fault is detected, the panel will automatically adjust to use the switches to detect the start and stop events. For proper operation, the start and stop events must come first from the transducer and then from the switches. If, however, a start and stop event occurs first by a switch, then the CP1000 no longer trusts the transducer, declares a fault, and will continue normal operation using the backup switches for the start and stop events. The cruise control or maintain function will be automatically disabled since it relies on the now faulty transducer. To ensure the start and stop events come first from the transducer, the switches must be configured as shown, such that the high switch opens and closes at a level above the transducer's high level point, and the low switch opens and closes at a level below the transducer's low level point. The following simulation will show the dashboard's behavior under this configuration and scenario. Activate the auto start mode. The tank fills, causing the bottom float to go active, and continues until the start level is reached, causing the start delay to count down. engine cranks, warms up, ramps to the intermediate speed, pauses at the intermediate speed, ramps to the run speed in maintain mode. Now when the level starts to drop and reaches 13 feet, the CP1000 will adjust the throttle appropriately to maintain the specified level. If the level gets below the maintain point, the throttle will be adjusted to reduce the RPMs to the actual required run speed to maintain the point at 13 feet. When the input flow substantially slows down or stops, the level will continue to drop, as will the engine RPMs. Ultimately, the level drops below the stop level, causing the stop delay to start counting down. The engine ramps to idle and cools down. The engine is now stopped, and the CP1000 is ready for the next auto start cycle. This concludes this segment.